This video is about the topic of boundaries. We're going to explore them by talking about two different couples, Ben and Annalise and Paul and Stephanie. I'm going to start with Ben and Annalise, and it's a typical morning for Ben and Annalise at the Lindbergh Ranch, or is it? Let's check it out.
And then I'm going to go tutor Alex until 4, but I should be back in time for us to have dinner at 5:30, and that way we can make it to the marriage enrichment group on time.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I was going to go deer hunting after work with Fred. I was going to tell you, but I knew you wouldn't mind.
Okay, darling. That's fine.
Well, it looks like maybe Ben and Annalise are going to have to work through some boundary issues about their plans for this evening. But that's what this video is about, boundaries in marriage. So, what are boundaries? Well, just like physical boundaries delineate ownership, relational boundaries help both partners understand what they are responsible for in the relationship. So when both partners in marriage have good boundaries, they both take responsibility for their own feelings, attitudes, behaviors, choices, etc. There's a lot more information on boundaries in marriage in the book with that title by Drs. Cloud and Townsend. But let's see if the Lindberghs have any more thoughts on it.
Hey, thanks for letting me interview you about the boundaries in marriage.
Yeah, no problem.
First, I'd like to know if you think what you're doing here is a loving thing to do.
I do, actually. When I set boundaries, I'm promoting our love by protecting myself and empowering myself in protecting our love. Well, anytime Ben and I have different needs or wants, there could be conflict. And I don't want to stand up to him because then he won't fight right then. I want to please him. Other couples might do it just because they're tired of fighting or arguing and have trouble listening. But really, whatever the reason, if the one that gives in feels angry or hurt, the relationship can be damaged. So I'm caring for my marriage by sticking up for myself.
Okay. You said that you set boundaries, that it's protecting and empowering yourself. That sounds like the protecting part that you just described, but so what about empowering yourself?
Well, if I'm upset or resentful because of what Ben does, but I don't say anything about it, I don't have control of what makes me feel bad. But if I stand up for myself and I'm owning my part of the relationship, then it's under my control. When I begin to take control of my part of the relationship, then I'm empowered.
Okay. Well, thanks for explaining this to me. I'm going to ask Ben a few questions now.
All right, see you later.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, how are you?
All right. Annalise told me about boundaries. Could you tell me a little bit more how they work, how to have them?
Yeah, sure. It's important to understand that boundaries aren't something we set on somebody else. They're something we determine within ourselves. Usually we use words to set up boundaries in relationships, like we may say something like, no, I don't like that, or I do like that.
Okay, so most of the time we establish boundaries by what we say?
Yes. Telling the truth is really an important part of this. It can mean saying what we really think instead of what our spouse wants us to say or what they want to hear. We might also need to use consequences when one spouse isn't listening to what the other has repeatedly said. Those consequences could be emotional if the spouse continues to hurt you emotionally, or maybe physical distance if all else fails.
Okay. Well, thanks to both of you for helping us understand all this.
Yeah, sure. Have a good one. Okay.
So, Ben and Annalise told us that setting boundaries is a healthy thing to do for marriages, even if it will mean a little conflict. In their case, maybe it meant having a difficult conversation about discussing plans before they commit to them. That will certainly work better than if she isn't willing to talk about it and he can't understand why she's angry, and it looks like their conflict is ending peacefully.
Meet the fictional couple, Paul and Stephanie, graciously played by Brett and Kristen, who are not married. Paul and Steph have come to talk to me about their relationship. Stephanie is a pleaser. She wants people to be happy, especially Paul. She adapts, and she's always thought that she can win people over by loving them more and more and more. Paul is an aggressive firstborn. He is laser focused. He identifies an objective and he goes for it. He knows what he wants, what he thinks, and where he's going. Just don't get in his way. So first we're going to hear from Paul and Stephanie before they start using boundaries.
I just don't care for him anymore. I'm worn out, exhausted, burnt out from our marriage.
She won't tell me why. The only thing she will tell me is that she wants out of the relationship.
Stephanie, can you talk about something that Paul has done that bothers you?
Well, okay, I
I know this shouldn't bother me that much, but every vacation we've taken so far, he has decided where we're going to go. And every time we're going to go out to eat, he says we're going to go, and I have to go along with it.
Okay. Did you want to go somewhere else on vacation? Did you want to go somewhere else for dinner?
Yes, but he never asked. His selfishness just makes me so mad.
Now let's hear from Paul and Stephanie after boundaries.
Well, it was hard. I've never liked conflict, and this felt like conflict. But after I started to stand up for myself with the little decisions that I made, I started to feel better about myself and our marriage.
Before, I would tell her when I wanted to go out, where I wanted to go, and what I wanted to do. She would go along with it, but she would be like irritable and withdrawn, and then she'd make these snippety, critical little comments while we're out, you know, eating or whatever. Since she's got into this whole boundaries thing, though, she will actually disagree with me. I've got to realize sometimes that she's not as good at pushing her agenda as I am at pushing mine. But I've seen how good it is for our relationship, so when she has to push her agenda a little bit, I have to remember to not push as hard on what I want.
I'd like to point out that in some cases the boundaries will probably need to go beyond just expressing what we want. Sometimes one spouse won't listen to words, but only to consequences. So, what have we learned in this battle over boundaries? Well, clearly that healthy boundaries are good for marriage, and that speaking the truth in love, which is Ephesians 4:15, will help us establish and keep those boundaries. Thanks a lot for watching.